From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now, or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Here are the facts. Fort Benning is located in Columbus, Georgia. From 1984 to 2001, the fort was home to one of the government's most controversial facilities, the School of the Americas. This school was founded in Panama in 1946 with the purpose of training Latin American soldiers to combat leftist or non-democratic threats. In 1948, the school relocated to Fort Benning. For decades, this school trained Latin American soldiers to combat these leftist threats feared during the Cold War. The school was dogged by growing controversy, and in 2000, the government closed the School of the Americas completely. The Department of Defense took over the program and renamed the facility the Western Hemisphere Institute for Security Cooperation, or WHINSEC. According to their website, WHINSEC provides professional education and training to eligible military, law enforcement, and civilian personnel of nations in the Western Hemisphere. But what are they teaching? Here's where it gets crazy. According to opposition groups such as the School of the Americas Watch, WHINSEC and the original School of the Americas are essentially the same organization, and they're teaching their students how to commit crimes, including torturous interrogation methods, guerrilla warfare, and brutal counterinsurgency techniques. Is this true? In 1996, the U.S. government released 7 Spanish-language manuals used at the school and throughout Latin America. These manuals, which were used between 1982 and 1991, shocked the public. They appeared to condone beatings, torture, and even execution. The Pentagon conducted an investigation and met with Congress in closed briefings. Ultimately, about 24 passages in the manuals were found to contradict official U.S. policy, although the Pentagon claimed some quotations were taken out of context. It was the scandal over these instruction manuals that ultimately led to the closing of the original school. Yet these manuals are only part of the criticism. The School of the Americas Watch argues that graduates have used their education to commit atrocities and to violate human rights laws. This is far from a conspiratorial claim. Graduates of the school include such prominent dictators as Manuel Noriega and the Argentinian dictator Roberto Viola. In a 2001 article for The Guardian, journalist George Monbiot listed more than 10 graduates linked with atrocities. The Secretary of Defense states that the individuals cited for human rights violations are only a small portion of the school's graduates. Supporters of the school argue that it is vital for U.S. national security interest, and that holding the school responsible for the actions of its graduates is like holding a university responsible when its former students commit crimes. However, there's a potential flaw in this logic. What if, as the school's opponents claim, the school is teaching Latin American soldiers, police, and civilians techniques that are inherently criminal? WHINSEC remains open today. Despite criticism, the Department of Defense maintains that the school is vital to U.S. security interest and has no plans to close the facility. The original Spanish-language manuals condoning crimes have been revised. Opponents believe that WHINSEC is little more than an attempt to whitewash what George Monbiot describes as a terrorist training camp. However, WHINSEC differs from the original School of the Americas in at least one important way. The names of the students and much of the coursework are now officially classified. And, according to opponents, that's just the beginning of the stuff they don't want you to know. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.